Hi, Veronique here with our King Dancer tutorial. For this tutorial, you will want to have one strap and you can loop the strap through. So if you have a strap that is a yoga strap, you can loop it through so that you have a loop that is just a little bit bigger than your foot, as will be helpful to play with this flip grip to bring the foot towards the head. So for this, you'll want to warm up your shoulders, you'll want to warm up your spine, you'll want to warm up your hips and your quads, and you'll want to play with balance. So once you are all warmed up, come and join me in a standing position. So if balance is something that is a little bit off today, feel free to set up near a wall, and actually it might feel nice to be at a wall to begin with, just while we negotiate with the strap. So once you have your loop, if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use a towel. Just be mindful to loop it around the foot, and so that you have a nice hold of it. What's nice about having the loop is you can actually take a moment and make it tighter, so it's right around the foot, and then it doesn't wiggle and wobble around on you. So you'll find a grounding into the foot that doesn't have the strap on it, and then you'll bring the heel towards the glute, and then you can have as much slack on the strap as you'd like, and you can bring the strap sort of over the shoulder so that you have some space, and then you can just get friendly with the balance here. And just find your drishti, find your gaze. You can look to something unmoving for your attention. You can stay like so. If this feels like a good place to linger, you stay, right? And then only if you feel like you want to go further, maybe you start to kick the foot away, and you're using the hold of the strap to find this opening in the shoulder. Good, so we'll just play here. You can kind of kick the foot away. Notice how you get opening into the shoulder and into the chest pretty readily, right? So just to give you a side view, finding that opening so you have this really nice expansion into the back body. Good, and then release, let that go. Shake it out. Just so that we're even, we'll switch that to the other side, bringing your loop or your towel, whatever you have, to your other foot. You might find you need to adjust that strap somehow, some way, and then bringing the strap, whatever excess you have, and then just be mindful, right? If you need something that's longer, because you're kind of like reaching for it, like if you started off with like a little dish towel, it might be worth just like getting something longer so that you're not straining for something, right? So finding your focal point, you'll ground down into the opposite foot and then start to kick the heel away, and then right away you'll start to establish that slack into the strap, and then you can just kind of have the strap over the shoulder, nice and casual. Get friendly with the balance, and then you can take the strap over the head. So this time play with having both hands up overhead if that feels good, and then you can start to walk your hands down the strap. You'll find a point where the back says that's good, right? Or maybe the hips, or maybe the shoulders. Something will tell you that's good, and then you'll stay there, and then you'll let that go. Good. So you're building a little bit more awareness of the shoulders and the hips as you go. So taking it off that side. So we're building steadily, as you can see, bringing the foot towards the head. So one of the components of King Pigeon is this flip grip. And if you've ever done that style of, actually, I'll hold on to a wall too, right? So if you've ever done that style of frog pose in the Ashtanga practice where the fingers are facing the toes and you're bringing, like imagine I'm lying down on my belly and you're bringing your heel in, that's the kind of thing that we're trying to find. So it's this opening so that you can bring the fingers to face the toes. It requires a lot of shoulder flexibility, so certainly if you are hypermobile, you have that availability. If you have tightness in your shoulders, you may not have that availability. So just find for the strap, right? That's why this was invented. It's a beautiful tool, why not use it? So if you want to play with that flip grip on the other side, hang on to something for stability. And then play with it, right? So traditionally, right, the fingers are facing towards the ground in this case. What we want to do is we want to bring the arm up and bring the fingers up. So it's like the arm goes up, so there's shoulders opening or shoulder finding that external rotation. And then we're bringing the curling of the fingers in. So it requires a lot of that opening into the shoulders, right? So if it's not there, no worries whatsoever. We'll use the strap. So we'll bring those components together, starting on the first side, whichever one you did first. If you don't remember, that's okay too. Bringing the strap onto one foot, and then find your focal point, find your drishti. So this would be a good point to not look at the screen, right? So, because I'm moving. So try to find something that isn't moving for your attention. I always recommend for drishti close by and down when you're first starting, and then when you feel more comfortable, lifting your gaze to the horizon, maybe skyward, maybe closing your eyes down altogether. Yeah, so always some place to travel to, depending on the day. It's all it all varies is what I'm trying to say. So you'll kick the foot away, good, and then you'll bring that arm up. And then starting just as we did, you can stay just like so, or maybe you start to walk your hands down the strap. And then you might start to find that the foot gets closer to the hands, maybe not, right? Find for where it lives. Maybe you wobble, catch yourself, come back. If you have the foot, maybe you set it free. Or set the strap free rather, and then slowly we'll all come out together. Whew. Good. And so we're just warming up. Certainly if you're already warm and you're able to find that foot pretty readily, then you're finding awareness of the pelvis, awareness of tapping into your core, lengthening into the side bodies, opening into the chest. So all of these components always have a place to finesse. So coming to the second side, we'll just build it a little bit further, and then maybe we'll put the strap to the side if you're feeling ready. So find your drishti, find your gaze. And then you can always play with the standing leg, right? So you can have a little bend in the standing leg. Don't feel like you have to lock it out or it has to be super straight. You can have a little bitty bend. And then something that I've been playing with too in balances is finding a slightly a turn out of the toes and see if you maybe feel a little steady. Depending on the shape of your foot, you might find a little bit of movement. You can find a bit more steadiness, right? So anchoring down into the foot that doesn't have the strap. Throw the strap across the shoulder. And then you'll start to kick that foot towards the heel as you bring the strap up overhead. And then notice right away your body will start to get friendly with opening, and then you'll start to walk your hands towards the foot. There will be a point that feels good, and then you'll hold. Keeping the openness into the chest and into the heart. Maybe you look up if you feel steady. And then slowly letting it go. Whew. Ha. So it's a heart opener, right? It's energetic, it's freeing, it's like, oh, here I am. I love heart openers, as many of you know. So setting the strap down if you want to, right? You can still keep practicing with the strap if you'd like. And then every time you come back, you'll see your body is very intelligent. It will open up time after time after time. Just arrive with some patience, some compassion for yourself. So really try not to yank your foot to your head. Please don't do that, right? Find that the foot like longs to reach for the head, and you're just like breathing into the space. And it doesn't even have touch the head. So let go of that as necessarily being a goal, but rather breathe into the space of opening up to your heart, and then maybe the head will touch, or maybe the foot will touch the head someday, maybe it won't, but embracing the journey of the shape. So we'll play with this flip grip now, bringing all of these components together. Anchor your steadiness, hold on to something if you'd like, and then you're bringing, let's start with the right hand, just so we know what we're doing. The right hand to the right foot, grounding down into the sole of the left foot, and then kicking the left heel towards the glute. So you'll feel this pretty readily. It's a lot for the shoulders. I feel like I can't say that enough. Bringing your left hand to the pinky toe. It's a little bit awkward. You kind of have to like really open up and kind of side crunch. So it's a lot of obliques as well. So be mindful if you're mending anything here. You're flipping the grip so that the elbow points up. See that big transition? So I'll show that to you once again. So the arm comes out, the foot arrives into the hand. So I'm cupping the pinky toe side edge of the foot between my thumb and the index finger. So like, I'm like offering something in a grand way. And then I'm sort of trying to bring the fingers over the toes so that the elbow can point up. And I'm activating through that leg. Once I have that, find the drishti, find the gaze, and then maybe you start to find the right foot with the left hand, extending the foot towards the head. And then you'll start to lift your gaze up, feeling for the foot coming to the head. And then you'll gently let it go with as much ease as possible. If you want to bring your hands to your thighs for a moment, take a few rounds of cat-cow. Mobilize into the spine. Feel free to make any noises. Oh. My oh my. Whenever I take that shape, it just feels like, oh, that was everything I had. So be gentle with yourself, okay? So we'll try the other side, just because we have two sides, it's good to do both. You'll set yourself up nice and steady and feel yourself anchoring down. Enjoy the joyousness of having 2 feet on the ground. It's one of the most beautiful things to relish in. The simplicity of 2 feet on the ground. Let it never, ever, ever be lost on us. Ground down into the sole of the right foot this time. Once again, feel free to use your strap, or if you'd like, we're bringing the left arm out. It's like this nice openness into the shoulders, and then notice the shoulder head comes onto the back body. We're drawing the left heel towards the glute. You're trying to bring the thumb and the index finger to hold on to the pinky toe side edge of the foot. Once you have that, you're guiding the elbow up, right? So it requires so much mobility in that shoulder. It may not happen. It depends on how you are built. I just happen to have hypermobile shoulders, hypermobile elbows, hypermobile spine really, but my flexibility ends at the waist. So we all have things that are working for us and things that are challenges, right? So find your grace however it shows up, and maybe it's simply just arriving into your breath, right? Knowing that's enough. Guiding the left heel to the glute if you'd like to try again. Bringing your left hand to hold on to the left foot. And then we're bringing the left elbow up. Find your grounding. Maybe the right hand starts to wriggle its way towards the left foot. And then you're trying to kick to open up into the heart space. Slowly releasing the foot down. Try not to slingshot your way out of it. Try to land as softly as possible. Whew, maybe hands onto the thighs. And then we can dip one shoulder, looking the opposite way. Dipping the other shoulder, looking the opposite way. And then wiggle your way out of that. So that is your King Dancer tutorial. Some things to keep in mind. There's a lot that can be done for the shoulders. So last week in classes, I was practicing a lot in our sun salutes of finding this opening this way, right? So when you bring the hands to prayer overhead and bring the thumbs as far down as possible and wrap the biceps in and extend the elbows up to the sky, and then we're trying to knit the upper ribs in and firm up through the abdominal wall. Wow, wow, wow. So you can play with that in your own practice, adding that into your sun salutes, adding that into your high lunge or into your warrior one, finding different places, like even in any like Ustrasana or camel pose series, of just like finding more opening into the shoulders, and also a lot of strengthening into the back body, right? Rhomboids are like lit up. So I hope that was helpful. It's one of my favorite shapes. I think it's so beautiful. And you probably notice my foot doesn't reach my head. It may never, maybe it will. It's okay. So enjoy the journey. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends. If we're not already connected, I have some information in the description. I hope that we can be connected. Thank you so much for practicing.